So this is the Lumix 100-300 and there's a lot of reasons to really like this lens. And I think a good reason to get this over the more expensive 100-400. So this one obviously is a lot better value. So of course it comes with the lens hood to protect it, but it also makes it look very professional by extending it with that nice long lens hood that will protect you from lens flares if you're doing sort of wildlife photography or videography. Great for that. It's got a switch on the lens so you can turn on or off the stabilization. And if your camera is compatible with dual image stabilization, then it will turn both those on automatically and just makes it unbelievably stable. It's amazing what it can do. And that will mean that even if you have little micro shakes and you're all the way zoomed in on a subject, it can keep it sharp by moving the sensor and moving the elements inside to make sure that it takes out all of those little micro shakes so you get a very sharp image. Now, is it the same sharpness all the way through the zoom range? Pretty much. It's actually really good, even all the way up to 300, with very little chromatic aberration. And that can be controlled by closing down the aperture. And the zoom is very, very nice action. It's got a great big rubber grip on it, so you can really get your hand on there and it feels very secure and it's not going to slip, even if you're out in a little bit of rain. Of course, it's weather sealed, so not too much of a worry there. The front thread being 67, which is kind of a standard front thread size. So if you want to use ND filters or anything like that, that's the size to go for. And this lens, even though it's not the most used lens in my bag, it's so reassuring to know that I've got a massive zoom if I need to. So if there's a bird, a really cool bird flying off in the distance, I can zoom in and get it, or dogs running about, or if you just do a lot of photography, this is definitely really useful for that, or wildlife videography even. So with the dual image stabilization, you can do handheld shots all the way zoomed in. It blows my mind just how effective it is with dual image stabilization. Really amazing. Now, the reason I think that this is worth considering over the 100-400, obviously you don't get the same range. It goes to 300 rather than 400, which 300 being 600 full frame equivalent is a massive range to have. And the 100-400 is like 4 times the price, and it's a little bit sharper, a little bit less chromatic aberration, but the difference isn't much. So actually this lens is absolutely fantastic for the money. So why is it better than the first one? The stabilization's better in this lens than the previous one, and when you're using your camera controls to change aperture and all these sort of things, it definitely responds better and things are better controlled. So it's just a cleaner, sharper image. This is definitely the one to go for.